silly.
This is what I'm talking about. Big slow motion action sequence. Who knows if you live or die? Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
So I did go see Deadpool and Wolverine last night. I am still sick, so if I sound weird, sorry. Gosh, there's a lot on this movie. I was super excited about it. Seems like it had a lot on its shoulder. There was a lot of anticipation for it. I love the first two Deadpool movies. I just rewatched them back to back before going to see this new one. The MCU's been kind of on a downward trend here lately. And this was kind of like the introduction of the Fox character into the MCU, the X-Men into the MCU. We were like, oh, is Disney gonna PG the Deadpool stuff? And this is our only MCU movie this year. I don't know if I said that already, but there's just a lot going on with this movie. When the first trailer came out, I thought it looked great. I was super excited about it. And I've got to say, this movie is a ton of fun, and it is really awesome. I have caveats for it, obviously. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I really enjoyed it, and it's probably the most fun and most surprised I've been since No Way Home. Almost to the level where I want to go see it again, but I don't know if I will. I'm pretty busy at this time of the year with work and stuff, so... but yeah, it was really cool. So basically, if you remember, the first Deadpool movie was kind of a love story. The second Deadpool movie was about finding Deadpool a family. This one's got a lot of different themes going on with it, but basically, Deadpool kind of wants to amount to something, wants to be worth something. He also, he gets kind of set. You could tell from the trailers, the TVA's involved. He gets set on this mission where he's got to go find a Wolverine and try and save his universe. There's something to happen. That's all I'll get into it, because that's about what all I knew going into it. I will say that if you were hoping, like the original Deadpool, like we were going to get a funny opening credit scene, we were going to have a little bit of a start in the middle of the movie and then flashback, that kind of stuff is still there. And if you're worried about Disney dumbing it down or PGing it, that is not an issue either. It is your same old Deadpool that you're used to. He breaks the fourth wall. It's super bloody, super violent. And they crack jokes. They crack jokes at Disney and the Marvel Cinematic Universe in general. And so if you're worried about that kind of stuff, don't be, because it's all there. This is, if you like the first two Deadpool movies, you're going to love this one. I will say I saw it in a packed opening night screening. The crowd was great. I recommend that usually with Marvel movies. And everybody was having a good time. I went with 3 different people. 2 are not like super nerds, and they're more, I would say, the casual audience. But then I also went with Darth Easy. He's, a nerd, so I had him on one side of me, and we were geeking out about different cameos and different things. But then also, I feel like the 2 general audience people had a good time, even though they probably were lost. And I will say there is some deep cuts to stuff that I don't think your casual audience is going to know what is going on, especially from stuff from 15, 20 years ago. People are going to be like, what? But like I said, it's still funny enough on its own in the just normal Deadpool way, and it also does make fun of things currently going on in the MCU too. So it worked for me, and of course I got to geek out about stuff that I haven't really thought about in a long time. I will say this is a very, like, a love letter almost to the Fox Marvel universe. So if you're going in thinking this is going to be like an Avengers level type movie where we're going to get to see all these amazing MCU characters, that's not really what this is. It's more a love letter towards the Fox Marvel characters and X-Men and things like that. It's silly and over the top, just like the first one. If you thought it was silly and over the top last time, it's the same kind of stuff here. Some of the jokes don't land, but for the most part, it's really funny. And I have a feeling on repeat viewings, I'm going to catch stuff that I missed because I was laughing before at other things. I will say, and some people, I'll consider this kind of a negative for me, but some people will consider this a positive. It's kind of its own standalone story. And with that, you get some positives. It's got heart. You know, behind the crude humor and super violence, there is a heartfelt type story going on here. And you kind of feel for Deadpool and the Wolverine character. If you really connected to, you know, like say the Logan movie, there's a lot of really good stuff that they do with the Logan movie. And that's one of my favorite, if not, it's always between that or Dark Knight for me is my favorite comic book movie ever. Yeah, it's just like it's there, just like in the first two movies. It wasn't all silly. There is some heart in there. But anyways, back to what I was trying to say, which is a negative for me is it's very self-contained, and so if you were expecting this to further the MCU, I mean, there's a few things that you could take with this and go, okay, I kind of see where they're going with the MCU. But if you're like me and we've just keep getting the same kind of secluded stories that don't really further MCU. You know, before we had this one bad guy that we could all focus on, and the stories seem connected. And as to me, this is still just a good, but another separate story that doesn't really have any too big of implications with the greater MCU. But with all that being said, I had a blast. It's a ton of fun. I want to go see it again. If I don't, I for sure am probably buying this day one and watching it at home in 4K. So, really good movie, really fun time. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. It's just, hopefully Marvel sees this as not a sign to keep going like we've been doing, but to, do more original stuff, but also, I don't know how to explain it without spoiling it. So I'm just going to say, I'm glad that Marvel's going to get a win here. I'm sure this movie's going to make a ton of money, and it seems like everybody's really loving it. So what do you guys think of Deadpool and Wolverine? And until next time, this is Rainy Cage. Peace out.